Good evening, friends. Miss J here. I'm still trying to figure out my camera situation on the best way to do videos. I do have a webcam that my husband put up for me, but problem is the way the lighting is, and I'm not sure if it's in our office or whatnot, but the webcam looks very whitewashed. Like, I mean, look, I don't even look like my normal color. Like, this looks like my normal color. I look very, very pale. It's just a weird coloring, and I'm not a huge fan. So right now I'm still using my camera on my phone until we get the better lighting situation and see if we need to bring in extra lights, because I do like the office idea. But anyway, so I apologize for that. But the reason I came on this evening is I really want to kind of touch base on relationships and the different seasons they could go through. I feel like a lot of people that I've spoke with kind of get hung up on the fact that like maybe certain people have came in and out of their life when they didn't want them to, or they maybe take it personally that like, oh, so and so doesn't like me anymore. Or even with family relationships, dynamics change as well. And again, people tend to be offended by it, or they take it personally. And I really don't feel like that has to be the case. So if we can remove one thing in this world that tends to be full of negativity and reasons for people to be offended or whatnot, I feel like that's one thing we kind of eliminate from what's going on, because I feel like most of the time relationships and seasons of those relationships change very unintentionally. And it's okay, and we need to be okay with that, because everybody God brings into our life for seasons. And some of those seasons may be a week long, they may be a weekend long, they may be months long, they may be years long, and they may be decades long or a lifetime. And we need to be okay with the fact that those change, and just look at the positives that we got out of that relationship for the season that we had. And I know a lot of things could change those seasons. So, like, one, for example, could be just uh, a location of friendships and family. So, people could live, like, for myself, my husband has family who lives in South Africa. That's where he's from. So all of his family is there. And so, unfortunately, and not intentionally, that changed the dynamics of so many of those relationships, because we have to do them long distance. And it doesn't mean that we don't want to foster that relationship and we don't want to build it and make it stronger or see the people. It's just it's unfortunate that we live in completely two different countries, and we just have to make the best of what that is. And so that could change a relationship and the seasons of the relationship, because that will always kind of be different just because of geographical location. Another aspect that could change relationships is jobs. Uh, Jobs could take you different places, or just the fact that maybe you meet somebody new in a job and you have a great connection with somebody, you build a great friendship, and then you started this new friendship that was all based on starting with a job that you never had before. And then maybe that job changes, and then you find out that you don't get to see that person as much because you're not working with them a lot. And so the change of that friendship could not be as vibrant or as intentional as it once was. And again, people tend to kind of take that personally, which I don't feel like we need to. I feel like we need to just go with it and be so thankful for the time that we had that friendship, and not dwell on the fact that it changed, because I really feel and believe both parties never did it intentionally. It just was the nature of the job and changing that job. And like for myself, I was a flight attendant for 5 years. That's a pretty different job, right? So I met a lot of people in that job that I drew close to, and I made really great connections and some amazing friendships, and ones I'll never forget. But when I left that job, those friendships changed, and they changed naturally, and it's okay. I can't sit there and dwell on the fact that some of the people that I care about the most have moved on and now have new friendships, or maybe I'm not the priority I once was as a friend when I was friends with him while I was working in the airline industry. And it's so easy to kind of get like, oh, don't they like me anymore? Or I used to be the person they do that with, or just so many things that the enemy likes to like just nag at us and just like tell us we're not worthy of this friendship, or uh, they don't like us anymore. And we got to take that negative energy out and replace it with positive, and just be so thankful that we had that time with those people in our lives during the season that we were meant to have them. It doesn't mean that you're not going to care about those people, or it doesn't mean that you're not going to reach out to them and check in on them, see how they're doing, and vice versa. You hope for the same thing, but it does mean that most likely that friendship is changed and you won't have that same connection or that same intensity or see each other as much, and it's okay. And I feel like that's where we all kind of need to be at. Sorry, I keep moving my hand because I'm holding my phone with a tripod and it's getting heavy. And another thing is like things that could bring people together, or when they go through special things like going through flight attendant training, that was something that was difficult, and it brings a kind of camaraderie that a lot of people don't understand. Same with when I went into the Marine Corps. You go through a boot camp and you go through I went through 5 years in the Marine Corps. You go through something that most people will never understand, and it builds this sense of trust and a deep connection to people that you don't think most people will understand. They probably won't. And you really hold on to those friendships that you have while you're there. But then, when you move on and you go on to something different, you can't expect to hold on to that same level of friendship when you remove from that environment, because environment changes so much of friendships. And again, it's okay. And you hold on to the parts you could hold on to, and you don't ever forget, but it's okay to let go of a part of it that you felt like could never change, because the people hold on to these friendships, or even family is so much the same thing. Family comes and goes too. And I think that kind of leads into the next thing where I was saying what can change relationships and cause them to go through different seasons is, let's say I have kids for the first time, and I'm now kind of relating more to other parents and other family members who have kids as well. I've had some really great friendships, family and friends, that have really fostered our friendship through parenting or marriage and whatnot. And they've been so instrumental in my growth as a person, both marriage and parenting, like I said before. But as those relationships change, let's say some people are empty nesters, or for me, I have, now a young adult, and I have a almost 16-year-old. I don't so much relate and can really help a lot of kids going through like toddlers and brand new babies. Not that I can't give them past advice of things I did. That's great, but they're really looking for somebody who's really connected, who's in the in and now in of it. They're like deep in it and really could feed into what they need to be able to continue on and get advice from and whatnot. So again, it's okay, and even like grandbabies. I mean, so many people have grandbabies, and that changes the dynamics of relationships, because they're now looking and they're bonding and connecting with other people that have grandbabies, and it's awesome. I love that. And that's the whole thing is like, I don't want to dwell, first of all, on negativity. I don't want to dwell on things that change and try to point blame, like, oh, well, they didn't put the effort in, or I didn't put the effort in. It should never be about that. It should be about, thank you for the season that you were in my life and the strength that it brought to my life. And it's okay that that season is now over. And I think that's where we all kind of need to be, is going through life, appreciating the different seasons, first of all the different things we get to experience in life, and all those different people, both family and friend, who come into it during the most perfect time. And that's totally orchestrated by God. And I'm so, so thankful for that. But then it's okay to let those go, or at least let them loosen them. They may never they may never disappear, which is amazing to have so many people in your life that never disappear, but not have the intentional super closeness you once had, because that does change, and it changes pretty frequently with all the different things that we could experience in life. It could be through tragedy, it could be through pain and suffering, it could be through so many things that we could go through, that people come into our life and we're like, oh, you have a shared common experience, which is so cool. And that friend might only be there for the weekend or a whole event or whatever. I mean, I think people need to look at life, and again, this is just my opinion, I just trying to find ways for us to find a more positive interactions with family and friends, that with relationships that change and they go through different seasons. Because again, I hear so many people that kind of like, so-and-so doesn't talk to me anymore. we used to be like so close, but now they just like they never ever talk to me, and they're doing this, and their life is so different than mine now, and I don't understand what they're going through, or I don't understand how these people matter so much, but now I don't. And I think if we just get rid of all that negativity and maybe take a look like, oh, okay, that makes total sense. You know, this is going on in their life, and these people kind of have that too. And I could totally see where they're like totally connecting and vibing together, and that's amazing. Just try to put a positive spin on it. I think what we need so much in this world is positivity. And if my videos do anything, it's bring positivity to a world that needs it so bad. Let's not tear each other apart. Let's not look for the negative in each other. Let's look for the positive, because there's so much positive out there. And just be grateful. Be grateful for all the friendships you have. Be grateful for family that you have, in how they're involved in your life, or how they were involved in your life, or maybe who's going to come into your life in the future. I mean, goodness, how exciting is that to think about the people that God is going to bring into our life later? That's amazing. I mean, the people I still get to connect with and meet down the road is awesome. I can tell you what I'm not going to do is dwell on what I don't have anymore. The people I don't have in my life on the level I used to have them, because they were amazing for when I needed them. They're amazing if they're still there, and they're going to be amazing down the road if I need them again. And I'm going to hold on to that. I'm going to cherish it. So I hope that gives some kind of comfort to some people who maybe struggle with relationships and how they change, because I know sometimes that's really hard for people and they kind of hold on too tightly. Nothing in this world is forever, and we have to just kind of roll with it and take it as it comes, appreciate the good, and not dwell on the bad. Try to find the positive. So I hope that helps some people. Maybe it doesn't, but maybe it will bring some joy. So have a great evening, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.